Hey guys, welcome to episode 20 of the Memaw table build. The table's here underneath this blanket. I don't want to show it to you yet. I'm going to hold that off to the end. But what we did today was round off the edges. I finally got to use this fancy router bit that took a couple of months to come in. And while I was waiting for it, we had the big crack, and that delayed it even further. But got to put it to use today, and it worked out really well. But before I talk about that, I received a command directive that I had to address first. So what my youngest granddaughter Adeline is saying there is, look, I'm short, and the edges of this table, the corners are pointy, and I don't want to be running into them. Well, she teamed up with her cousins, Arthur and Amelia, also pointed out, hey, I don't want to run into it either. So I had to address it. Well, what I did was I took a penny, that's about the radius that I wanted, and traced it out on some scrap wood, and then using my reciprocating sander, I rounded that off, taped that down to the table, and used that as a guide for another router bit, a straight router bit with a ball bearing, and traced along, and I was able to cut along that template and round off the corners. So they were satisfied with that, so I got to go ahead and play with this. So, turned the table over again, took the legs off. I had to do that anyway because I have to sand the bottom as well as the top, because I'm going to finish the bottom and the top. But anyway, I got the legs off and went ahead and sanded the bottom all the way up to 220. It is silky smooth. Then I rounded it off. I started, I used my little DeWalt router here that a good friend gave it to me in trade for some Halloween woodworking. And I started by just chewing in a little bit. And then I'd drop it down, chew in a little bit more, got it all the way up, to the full curve here. And this thing worked like a champ. Really pleased with it. So you want to see the table? Let me get readjusted. I will do the big reveal. Okay, here we go. There's the, how'd you call it, chamfer, whatever. Basically, it was just a rounding over. So, the table was upside down without the legs. So, this was actually pointing down as I routed. But there it is. It just cut a beautiful little curve. I then came back on the top and did a 1/8 inch round over using my little baby router. Made a real quick work of that little round over for the top. So, got a 1/8 there, and then this big bad boy curve all the way down. And of course, I rounded the edges for the grandchildren. Okay, so after I did that, of course, I flipped it, put the legs back on, and flipped it back up upright, and sanded the top. I've got the top up to 150 right now. It is silky smooth. It is silky smooth. And I've got a near perfect connection there with the mosaic and the walnut. Let me reorient so you can see that. There, how's that? It's almost flush. There's a couple spots I still need to work on. I stopped at 150 because I still need to work on all these gaps in the mosaic. The material I'm gonna use for that was supposed to be here today, but it didn't make it. So hopefully tomorrow I can start on that. I'm also going to fill in. I've got a few gaps and a few voids. I'll take a picture and show you from my phone. I'm going to probably do some black epoxy there to finish that out. Once that's done, I will sand everything, including the sides. The sides are a little rough right now. I've just got them up to about 100. Then we're going to start finishing. I've went back with a different idea for the finish. I think it's going to be a really good choice. It's not a cheap choice, but I've spent this much time and money, blood, sweat, and tears thus far, so why not finish strong, right? That's, I think, all for today. Um, like I said, we've got the edges all done. I've got the bottom sanded as far as it needs to go. Got to work a little bit on the top and then on to finishing. We'll see you next time, episode 21. Take care.